Welcome everyone. Today we will be practicing a shorter Vinyasa sequence that focuses on the inner hips and the inner line of the legs. There is no specific props that should be needed today, but that said, grab anything that will make you feel comfortable. You might find a block helpful if you know that the hamstrings tend to be quite strong. So with that, let's jump right in. Let's make our way into a wide-kneed child's pose. Opening the knees wide enough so that the torso can fall really heavy between the inner thighs. And adapt in any way that lets you arrive in a shape that you can close your eyes within. And you can begin to notice the quality of your breath in its natural rhythm, its natural depth. So without trying to change it, just become really aware of where you are starting from. Let's take a moment and unite the breath. Full inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Find your own even rhythm of breath in and out the nose. And allow that breath to tether you to this moment again and again and again. Staying connected to the breath, you can slowly transition to a tabletop position, shifting your shoulders above the wrists, the hips above the knees. And once we're here, begin to draw some figure eights with the shoulders around the wrists, or maybe some gentle circles. There's nothing right or wrong. Just explore those little areas of discomfort in the wrists. And eventually you can find some stillness. Keep your left hand where it is and bring your right hand to your right shoulder and begin to extend your right elbow tip upwards towards the ceiling. With every inhale, you take it long from the tailbone to the center of the heart. And as you exhale, see if you can rotate your left ribs underneath the right, pressing through the left palm to help make that happen. And then while you're here, see if you can make some really slow, deliberate circles with the elbow. The circles can be as big or as small as you need to be, but find those little restrictions in the shoulders and see if you can breathe some space into that. Begin to move in the opposite direction if you haven't already done so. Next inhalation, begin to reach your right arm up. And as you exhale, we'll thread it through. Come onto the right ear, the right cheek, the right shoulder. You could slide a block underneath the right ear if you like. An invitation to create whatever shape you need to in the upper body. You could keep your left hand exactly as is. You could bring it to the low back, or maybe even the upper right thigh. With every inhale that you do take, find as much length as you can through to the center of the heart. And as you exhale, we'll rotate our right ribs underneath the left. Bring your left palm back down to the ground. Inhale, reach the right arm up. And exhale, release, right hand down. 3 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, lower the belly. Spread through the sit bones, spread through the collarbones. Lift your gaze. Exhale, navel towards the spine, chin to chest, round the back body. Twice more, just like that. And the bottom of your third exhale, no rush to get there. You can eventually make your way to a neutral spine. And then bring your left palm, your left fingertips towards your left shoulder. Begin to extend your left elbow tip upwards towards the ceiling. As before, with every inhale you take, find length. Get long from the tailbone to the chin to the crown of the head. And as you exhale, you find a rotation. It starts from the length we create with the inhale, and as we exhale, we move into that space. And while we're here, you can begin to move that left shoulder in any way that it feels good to, but let it be slow, let it be deliberate. Begin to move in the opposite direction if you haven't already done so. Next inhale, reach your left arm high. Taking a full inhale, find length. And as you exhale, thread it through. You'll come onto the left ear, the left cheek, the left shoulder. Paying attention to that smooth, even rhythm of breath in and out the nose, especially as you transition. And create whatever shape would create space for you. Bring the right palm back underneath the right shoulder. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, left hand down. Walk the palms one hand distance forward. Curl your toes behind you and glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then while we're here in the first few rounds of breath, no specific alignment cues. In fact, I might even encourage you to consciously break them. Begin to move with curiosity. Inquisitively, move really slow. Just feel what's here right now. And as always, the movement is inspired by the breath. Pressing the palms down and forward, hugging the navel up and in. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Next inhalation, reach your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, runner's lunge. You can keep your back leg lifted, but I encourage you to soften the left knee down to the ground. No, you could bring any props or cushions underneath the left knee. Right knee is in line with the right ankle. Planting the palms. Your right knee is hugging towards the right bicep. Taking a big inhale, lengthen the center of the heart forward. And as you exhale, well, actually, scratch that. Let's just take a few rounds of breath here. You're welcome to stay exactly as you are, or you might even choose to soften your forearms down to the ground. Stay with your breath. Observe whatever sensations are here in the inner line of the leg. And then gently, you can rise up, back up onto the palms if you've moved anywhere else. Taking a big inhale, find length. Exhale to a half splits. The right leg can straighten any amount. Here's where you could slide blocks underneath the hands or walk your fingertips back any amount. Not so important to straighten the leg or have your head or your chest anywhere in particular. Instead, focus most on the movement that the breath creates. With every inhale you take, lengthen the belly button forward. All right, we're gonna flow between those two shapes for 3 cycles of breath. As you inhale, come forward towards low lunge, runner's lunge. And as you exhale, move towards half splits. 2 more cycles of breath, your pace. Gently re-bend into the right leg, right knee right above the right ankle. Plant your palms, engage your left leg behind you, lift it off of the ground. And then from the strength of the low belly, step your left foot to the outside of the left hand, coming into Malasana, frog squat. You can bring your elbows to the inner line of the legs. Elbows gently pressing into the inner legs gently pressing back into the elbows. Your tail is heavy. You can use your palms to actively lift through the center of the heart, finding as much length as you could from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And for your first few rounds of breath, just move intuitively. You can choose to be still. You might sway from side to side. Take some slow neck rolls if that would feel good. Eventually, finding stillness, pivoting your feet forward, softening your fingertips down to the ground. Take in a big inhale. And as you exhale, you can lift your hips high, any amount, keeping the legs bent any amount, ragdoll pose. You can choose to stay with the arms dangling. You could also interlace your hands to the low back, or hold for opposite elbows. Anything that would feel good for you right now. Soften your fingertips down to the ground. We meet there. Inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift. Exhale, palms to the floor. Step your feet back to a plank. We'll be here for just a few cycles of breath. Tailbone towards the heels. Your navel up and in, hugging in towards the back body. Pressing the ground actively away from you, so much so that your shoulder blades spread wide, shoulders protracted. And while we're here, you can choose to be still, or you can try to keep your core really stable as you begin to shift your shoulders forward and back. Maybe they move slightly beyond the wrists. Honor what you feel, honor the health of the wrists. Last few seconds, shoulders stacked above the wrists once again. You can now begin to draw some really slow circles with your belly button. Moving in the opposite direction. Find stillness. One more big inhale. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, to runner's lunge, stepping the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Feel this inner pull between the inner thighs. Your left knee hugs in towards the left bicep, softening the right knee down to the ground. Take in a big inhale, lengthen the center of the heart forward. And as you exhale, I did this on the other side too. Let's just chill out right here. Runner's lunge. You can stay as you are, or you can choose to soften your forearms all the way down towards the floor. Slowly, you can rise all the way back up onto the palms. Big inhale, lengthen the center of the heart forward. And as you exhale, straighten the left leg any amount. You can walk your fingertips back any amount so you can feel sensation behind the left leg, but you can still lengthen the belly button forward. So more so than rounding forward, see if you can extend forward. Find your breath. Let it always invite you back to presence. All right, we're gonna flow with our breath between low lunge and this version of half splits. Inhale to low lunge, sink the hips, lift the heart. Exhale, half splits. 2 more cycles of breath, your pace. at the bottom of your third exhale, we can all meet in a runner's lunge. Planting your palms, engaging your right leg behind you, so much so that the kneecap lifts off of the ground. And from the strength of the core, without a sound, see if you can step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, Malasana once again. All right, so you are welcome to stay exactly as you are, as we did before, hands through to the center of the heart. Or you can join me for chicken wing stretch, as I was taught it. It's almost like broken wing in yin, but a more active variation. So you bring your right palm towards the center of your back, towards the spinal column. And then you'll hook your right elbow in front of your right leg. So if that already feels like too much, then there's no need to force it. This is a pretty intense shape. You can choose to keep your hands at the heart center, but if it feels good to bring the elbow to the inner line of the leg, you kind of push the knee back into the elbow, elbow back into the knee. Keep broadening through the center of the heart. You should feel quite a bit of sensation around the wing of the shoulder. Stay with your breath. And you can use your left hand to really, really slowly unhook the right elbow tip. You can relax your right arm, give it a little shake, give it a little wiggle. And then you can relax it in whatever way feels good as we transition to the opposite side. Bring your left hand behind you towards the center of your back. And then you can hook your left elbow in front of the left knee. And you really use that connection to create some space in the vertebra in the upper spine. So you can try to continually lengthen through the center of the heart, elbow into knee, knee into elbow, staying with the breath. Gently, you can unhook that left elbow. You can release the arm, give it a shake, give it a wiggle. We all meet with the hands through at the center of the heart. Tail is heavy, heart is lifted. Full inhale through the nose. Exhale with the sigh, let it out the mouth. And then gently, you can make your way onto your back. Just gently plopping on the hips. And slowly, in whatever way feels most natural, land simply lying on the back, taking up space, giving yourself permission to observe whatever is still in motion. There's nothing to do. See if you can really just observe what's happening underneath the surface. Gently draw the knees inwards towards the chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze. And then extend your left leg long. Draw the right knee in towards the chest for a few cycles of breath. Really try to eliminate the space between your upper right thigh and your low abdomen. And then opening your right arm wide, right arm out to a T. Shift your hips 1 or 2 inches to the right. And then use your left hand to guide the right knee across the body, spinal twist. Find your intelligent edge, stillness in body. But feel the movement of the breath. Notice what's happening under the surface. Next, inhale, gently draw that right knee back inwards towards the midline. You can give yourself one last big gentle squeeze. And then extend that right leg long. Hug your left knee inwards towards the chest. Once again, first moments here, just try to eliminate the space between your upper left thigh and your low abdomen. Find that compression. Notice what sensations are present in the front line of the body. And then open your left arm wide, left arm out to the side. Shift the hips 1 or 2 inches to the left. And use your right hand to guide the left knee across the body, spinal twist. Next inhale, draw the left knee back inwards towards the midline. Give yourself one last squeeze, eventually bringing the right knee inwards towards the chest as well. Any last little intuitive movements that the body's craving, you're welcome to create them. And eventually you make your way to your final Shavasana. Extending your right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot to left corner of the mat. Arms relax wide by the sides of the body, palms face up. Just close the eyes. And give yourself a few minutes to simply receive. I'll talk you out when it's time. Begin to deepen the breath, allowing that deeper breath to slowly begin to enliven the body, wiggling the fingertips, the toes, inspiring just tiny little motions. And then slowly, when it's time, when it's right, the movements will gradually become a little bit larger. And in the path that is most simple, most gentle, we'll arrive all the way up into a seat to close the practice together. Allowing the sit bones to ground, the spine to lengthen, hands through to the center of the heart. In reverence, we bow. Thank you for practicing. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to practicing with you again soon.